Hallelujah!
Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey, and welcome to the 10th day of the Minnesota Whiskey Elite Blind Whiskey Tasting Advent Calendar. The 10th day of December, the 10th pour, the 10th time I'm gonna blind rank a whiskey that I'm tasting blindly in December. If this is your first time here, shame on you. You have 9 more videos to watch after this to get all caught up. And that's just the 2025 Advent Calendar. If everything works to plan, which it should, unless of course it doesn't, this is one of 2 videos that I'm releasing today. One of them is this video, the one you're watching. It's the 10th day of the Advent Calendar. The second video that I'm releasing today on December 10th is a 1 Ounce Wednesday video. And I would consider it to be a pretty special 1 Ounce Wednesday video. So if you get 2 notifications today saying that I've got a new video out, it's not the same video twice. They're different videos, and you should watch them both. I'm literally everywhere. Literally. America. Eventually, one of these days, I'm gonna have to pick up all of the caps that I've thrown on the floor, and all of the envelopes, and all of the pictures of the bottles, and all of the fake snow that I LeBron James'd earlier in the calendar. Things are not looking very acceptable around this garage. Whew. If you've been following along with me in this calendar, and this is the 10th day of tasting in a row for you too, great job. High five. We cannot be stopped. Call him butter 'cause he's on a roll. Stuart Scott. R.I.P. At some point every year, every Advent calendar, I hit kind of a lull. I kind of get in my own head and I'm like, dude, you're gonna run out of things to talk about because you dumb? The hell's that? I need to get some mousetraps. Every Advent season, every year, I run into this wall of self-doubt where I'm like, dude, people aren't gonna wanna see this shit anymore, brother. Same shit, different day. Every single day. But after like a 3-day pity party or so, I get my second wind and I just bust through all of the obstacles that are in my way as I cross the finish line through the imaginary ribbon because I'm in last place of the 25th day of the Advent calendar, and I'm like, great, success. I feel like I might be hitting that wall a little bit early this year. I feel like that wall hasn't come into play until later, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe day 10 is the day, or around the day, where I start hating my face and despise editing me, that I start repeating myself so often, I remember looking directly into the camera and saying, you're a piece of shit. Matt, you're a piece of shit. Matt, times get rough and tough in this garage, but like the goose in the front of the V, you gotta push forward, knowing that everybody is looking at your ass. Day number 10 on the nose. Ooh. Day number 10 smells like a much better experience, a much more elevated pour than that of days 8 and 9. Day 10 has a very specific cola note to it. Yeah, like a heavy syruped cola. Stop being a bitch. Don't bitch talk me, bitch. It smells like cola and firewood. You know how you stop on the side of the highway and they got the bundles of like 7 pieces of firewood for $5 back in 2003, but now it's like 7 pieces of firewood for $600. And then there's just a little box there that says, you're on the honor system. You're on the honor system. So you take 1 bundle of wood and you throw it in your trunk next to your wife. Just kidding. That was a bad joke. Having a fire is the new glamping because the wood's so damn expensive. Yeah, it's kind of like smelling a cola outdoors. It's like you're camping in one of those campgrounds that they say that it's private sites, and then it's like it's kind of private, except for you can see everything that your neighbors are doing in the site next to you, and it's freaky shit. They have a sign posted out front saying, if the camper's rockin', don't come a knockin'. Coolest 3 dudes I ever camped next to. Little bit of a Twix bar as well, the chocolate caramel cookie Twix bar. The nose on this is holly and jolly. The nose on this puts me in a spirit that is pretty close to a Christmas one. It smells like a nicely matured bourbon with a ton of possibilities that could potentially pop up on the palate. Day 10 down the chimney. Oh, 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 oh. This might not be a barrel-proof pour, but the palate is pretty powerful. The most prominent notes peak on the mid-palate, while the oiliness parades around the perimeter. It is rather oily and rather sticky, a solid amount of oak on the palate as well. The tasting experience on day number 10 can only be explained in like waves of flavor. It feels like we're hitting high notes and low notes, high notes and low notes, from the front of the palate all the way to the back, all the way to the dangler in the back of your throat, the epididymis, which, by the way, is very prone to dehydration. So if you get too schlammered at night and you don't drink enough water, the epididymis flapper in the back of your throat can get super dried out and big. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's like enlarged and it's laying on the back of your tongue, causing you to feel like you're swallowing something, but you're not, but you kind of are, but it's not like a foreign object. It's literally attached to your back of your throat and it's just resting on your tongue, but you can't help but vomit everywhere because it feels like it's gagging. It's hitting your gag reflex. Don't ask me how I know. And don't ask me how much the ER bill was for them to tell me that I got too wasted the night before and my epididymis got enlarged and was resting on the back of my tongue, causing me to vomit everywhere. Never happened to me. Not in a million years. Going back to the nose, and I'm picking up on a slight nuttiness. It's a warming nuttiness that is not off-putting whatsoever, but it's there. This is very familiar to me, and part of me thinks that it's MGP, but I don't think that it's MGP. As I shuffle through the distilleries in my head, playing Go Fish, trying to find a match, I'm coming up short. And then I start shuffling through smaller distilleries and wha-bam! A shirt you can purchase by clicking on the link in the description below, ADHDwhiskey.dashery.com. This could potentially be, and don't quote me on this unless of course I'm right, then put it on a billboard. This might be a delicious Green River pick. Yes, yes. It has these candy apple notes, a little bit of nuttiness. It is kind of mysterious, but also flirts with you in a very familiar way. That is really good. Third sip was my favorite sip. Kind of like when your wife makes cream cheese chicken enchiladas, and then you go in for seconds and you're like, hells yeah, these are good, babe. And then you go in for thirds and she's like, you're really hungry. And you're like, no, not really. Pretty full, but guess what? It keeps getting better. And that's kind of where I'm at with this pour. Looking at my blind ranking scoreboard, trying to determine where to place this pour. This one falls right outside the top 10 at number 12. What were we drinking on day number 10? The answer is right here in my hand. On day number 10 we were drinking. They're really in there good sometimes. A 1792 bottled and bond pick, picked by 1010 Washington. 4 years old, 100 proof. That's only 4 years old? That's crazy. That tastes much older than 4 years old. This 1792 bottled and bond pick is really good. That's a really freaking good pick. Way to go 1010 Washington on this day 10. And that's gonna do it for this video. Hit the thumbs up, don't forget to do that. And don't forget to come back tomorrow for day 11. My name is Matt, this is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on history. Like 1792. Not only do they make a tremendous bourbon, but you also know that that's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue with Thomas Jefferson on an ocean that was once called Jefferson's Ocean. That's why they called the whiskey that. And that's why they named the ocean that. Because Thomas Jefferson sailed it in 1792 to free him and his friends from tyranny or something. Also an interesting tidbit, this was picked by 1010 Washington, which is pretty cool because in 1010, Washington was the one who gave Thomas Jefferson the orders to sail the ocean blue 762 years later. A lot of times I don't get into history much about whiskey or distilleries or history of distilleries because I don't want to get anything wrong. I'm afraid that if I start going into too much detail or saying things that I think I remember, I'm gonna wind up being incorrect and feeling the heat in the comments. Therefore, I only really go into history when it's things that I know about, things that I'm certain about, things that are cemented in my brain. Like how Thomas Jefferson was our first president, and he never told a lie. The more you know.